So, who am I to talk about stuff like this, you know? Who am I to talk about Lakota spirituality and cosmology and all that stuff? Well, I'm not an expert. I have been going to sweat lodges Inipi ceremony for a long time. Like almost every month since I was like 23. I'm 41 now, so a long time, but does that make me an expert? No, it doesn't. Get the feeling that on this path you're always at the beginning, and it takes a lifetime to get any understanding of the thing they call the Red Road. I didn't start knocking on the door of Lakota people. It kind of just happened. It was one of the Lakota people who came to Europe, and he taught white people all over Europe how to do one of the sacred rites of the Lakota, how to do the Inipi ceremony. His name was Takaushite. I believe we called him Archie. I never met Archie. I met the people that got taught by Archie. And I met his son, John Fire Lamedier. I met him yesterday actually, but when I meet him, I just kind of say hi and maybe tell a joke. But that's kind of it, because I get kind of shy around him. I don't know why that is. But yesterday, when I did my sweat lodge, we were at this beautiful place. And this man built a beautiful treehouse in this place. And in the back of this treehouse, he had this massive sign where he carved all the names of Lakota cosmology. I heard these names before, I didn't really think much about it. But when I saw them all just like next to each other, I started looking at them in a Germanic and Norse mythological framework. And I started to see like a lot of similarities. So I make this video to explore whether those same archetypes that are in Germanic and Norse mythology, if we can find them in the Lakota cosmology. I named this video if Odin is a part of Lakota cosmology, because I think we can make the strongest case for the All-Father. Not only because, you know, he's the All-Father, he likes to travel. And he's the All-Father, he's the Father of all. Is it possible that on his many, many travels, he traveled not just to Europe, but that he traveled across the world? And that he is known across the world, just under different names. So, what struck me most with that big sign was he had a big sign with what he called, the Lakota people called the 8 supernaturals who run around in this world. I made notes. We're going somewhere in this channel. Officially making notes. Okay, they are called Anosete, which is a woman with 2 faces. Iktome, the spider. Kamka, a female wizard. Xa, the goddess of water. Wazi, old wizard. Top Top, the 8 directions of the wind. Tate, the wind. And Yumini, which is a whirlwind or a storm. Now, each of these supernaturals have a planet linked to them, which gives us a bit more information about who they are and where their power lies. Now, the first deity that really came at me was the female wizard, Kamka. When I think of a female wizard, I think of Freya. So I started looking at the planet that corresponds with Kamka, and it's Venus, the planet of love. So we have a wizard, a female wizard that rules over love. Looks surprisingly a lot like Freya, but it goes further. I'm not saying like for a fact that Kamka is Freya, because it could very well be that it's just like, you know, like you have Thor in you have like the old Romans called him Neptune, and the Slavic people call him Perun. You know, it could just be like another way of looking at this entity or this archetypal energy, or just another way of looking at this god. Maybe everybody's looking to a tiny keyhole and we all see different part of it, but it's the same thing. So, you know, Kamka could be. What more do we have? We have Humani, whirlwind, storm. Well, we know how we think about with whirlwinds and storm. You go like it's Donar, it's Thor, the god of thunder. Well, I don't know, because I don't see no hammer and I don't see no thunder. So you go look at the planet, and the planet is Jupiter. I didn't know what Jupiter meant, so I started Googling symbolism of Jupiter. What's the first hit that you get? The first hit says, well, if you look at the symbol of Jupiter, it's like a 4. But a lot of people actually say it looks more like a bolt of lightning. So I go like, there's a supernatural force associated with whirlwind and bolts of lightning. Is that Thor? Could be. Is it like maybe looking at the same archetypal energy? Maybe. Now you have these 8 supernaturals, so they're never going to line up perfectly with the Nordic deities or even the Greek deities, because we have like 12 basic ones and they have 8 basic ones, and there are some that don't line up as well. We have Xa, the goddess of water, which, you know, could very well be Njord, and it's linked to the planet of Neptune, with like Neptune, the god of the sea, so that could be Njord, but they could have like, the Lakota see it as a female deity, and the Norse see it as a male deity. I've noticed that before, like a Lakota, like moon is feminine and sun is masculine, and in Nordic it's the other way around. They just interpret that differently. You also have like Iktomi, which is a spider, which in Lakota stories usually shows up in kids' stories. It's the spider which tricks you. It's the trickster spirit. It's the politician. So you kind of go like, oh, that could be Loki, but the planet associated with that is Saturn, and Saturn goes over order. So, you know, you could make the point that, yeah, like chaos, the chaos that Loki brings is always part of a bigger order. And I think that's a good case to make, and we should make that in probably a different video, but it's a bit of a stretch because chaos and order are opposites. So probably not. But now the case that kind of blew my mind, which is the case for Wodan, for Odin. There is the archetype of the old wizard. His name in Lakota is Wazi. Now, Odin is a unique character because he's very multi-dimensional, literally and figuratively. Like old wizard, that's like archetypal energy. I mean, not everybody, the old wizard is Odin, or maybe there's a part of Odin in there, but like it doesn't have to be the same. What makes Odin unique is this very different aspects. You have wisdom, wizardry, travel, and war for some reason. War is also a big part of it. I know Tyr is also war, but kind of justice, but Odin definitely war. So these are very different, especially the fourth one. It's different and unique. So when you look at Wazi, the more I say it, the more I like it. Wazi, it's like heavy. The planet that's associated with Wazi, you guessed it, it's Mars. And for those who don't know, Mars is conflict. I've always been told that all of our fingers represents planets too. And the reason why this finger is the bad finger is it corresponds with Mars, and it corresponds with conflict. So when you're actually flipping somebody the bird, you're actually linking, you're actually showing that planet, you're actually showing that energy. So the big question is Odin part of lakota cosmology? Well, I don't know if it is, but I like this thought. You know, there are many people in Christianity, not all Christians, but there are many people in Christianity who really believe like their God is the one God and everybody should fall under their God. There are also many Muslims, not all Muslims, but still a lot, that believe like Allah is the only God and they should take over the world so that, you know, everybody will pray to their God. Well, we already know that like all the ancient civilizations, they have like really big things in common, you know, because they were nature religions. You know, so what you see even like with the ancient pyramids in South America, with ancient pyramids in Africa, all over the world, even like the Dutch hunebedden, they're always located and directed to the 4 sacred directions. They're all nature religions because all there was nature, because those are the forces we felt and we saw, so those were the forces we worked with. That's what we know. But what if what say like some Christians and Muslims want to accomplish, what if it already has been accomplished by Odin? What if he already traveled the world and was just known under different names, but played a part in cultivating the wisdom in the tribes of North America and the tribes maybe of South America, in Europe, in everywhere, just under different names? I don't know if this is true, but I'd like it to be true, and I think it's a wonderful thing to think about. Because it's Odin. In Holland we have a word, we say he's so ongrijpbaar, which translates to he's hard to grasp. He's very mysterious. He appears and he just vanishes for a long time, and he goes places and you don't really get to see all of him. And we know he likes to travel. So maybe Wazi is Wodan. We already know he has 100 names. Why not make it 101? Why not make it 200? Why not make it 300? I don't know. I will promise you this. I will like put my notes together so I look professional now. But I will promise you this. I will look into this a bit further. I will look into the archetypes of wisdom and see if I can find more archetypes of wisdom, magic, which somehow also correspond to war. Or somehow correspond to a dude with one eye. Because I get a feeling that our Allfather, he gets around. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Mitake Yasin.